Welcome to the Ringer NFL show. I'm your host, Sheil Kapadia. We're giving you 3 takes that matter from Sunday's action in the NFL. We'll talk about the wildest game of the day, the Broncos coming back, scoring 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat the New York Giants. What did we learn about the Broncos from that win? Then we have a little Eagles discussion. Big win in Minnesota. Have they actually figured things out offensively, or was this kind of just an aberration and pump the brakes a little bit? And finally, who's the worst team in the NFL right now? You know, we saw some bad football on Sunday. Dolphins, Raiders, Jets, Titans. Lots of options with some of those teams that we watched. So we're going to get into that discussion. My guest is from the Ringer, Austin Gayle, my friend. We're all in LA for the week. We were watching games together. It was a lot of fun. Whole room was going nuts during that Broncos-Giants fourth quarter. And Austin stunned me with a comparison when we were talking about the worst teams in the NFL. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's take a break. We come back and we talk Week 7 takeaways. This is the Ringer NFL show presented by FanDuel. And if you're betting on the NFL, FanDuel's the place to do it. They've got everything. Same game parlays, quick bets for when you want to jump in live, and your way so you can set your own lines. The app's fast, it's easy to use, and best of all, when you win, you get paid out instantly. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/RingerNFL to get started. The Ringer is committed to responsible gaming. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available, and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. Must be 21 plus and present in select states and 18 plus in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back here with Austin Gayle. Austin, let's get started. Takeaways from Week 7. I'm starting with the wild Broncos-Giants game. And I'm sorry, Broncos. You can't fool me. They can't fool me. You're not contenders. You can't keep winning games like this. It was a very fun game. If you're a Broncos fan, this isn't, I'm not, throwing arrows at you. It was a fun game. It was an entertaining game. They've been an entertaining team. But this is mostly the same team from last year, Austin. And the way they're playing offensively, in some respects, is worse than they played last year. And you're not going to score 33 points in the fourth quarter every week. You're not going to come back from a deficit like they did against the Eagles a couple weeks ago. They win 13-11 against the Jets in between. So their last 3 wins have been by 7 points. And this team got so much hype in the preseason, in the offseason as a Super Bowl contender. And they're going to get hyped this week. You know what we're going to hear. Oh, the magic. They're clutch. They know what it takes to make plays in the fourth quarter. Maybe there's a little bit of that, but in the long run, it's going to catch up to them. So nice win. Be happy if you're a Broncos fan. I'm not taking them any more seriously than I did last year. Where are you with this team?
I think offensively, it's hard to feel like really good about the team. And I think even Broncos fans coming off of this win with a 33-point fourth quarter, I think Bo Nix had 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. You still are like, oh, maybe there's this magic. Maybe there's moxie. I think that's all this is, though. I think it's a really well-coached football team. I think they are maximizing what they have offensively. I also think it's a really good offensive line. I think it gets kind of underrated how good the offensive line is. I think Bo Nix, entering now Week 8, has the lowest pressure rate of any quarterback in the league. Garrett Bowles left this game for a couple minutes, a couple snaps, and you could hear the broadcaster talking about like, oh man, Garrett Bowles is out. It's a big important thing. But I feel like the offensive line is good. Sean Payton is good. I'm not there yet with Bo Nix, and I think you saw that in this game. In the first 3 quarters, he was 11 of 25 for 105 yards for 2 sacks, and the offense looked terrible, right? And the running game has been middle of the pack efficiency-wise. I think a lot of their shot plays have come off of play action and getting it downfield, and Cortland Sutton's a very good jump ball receiver. I think if you are buying this team as a competitor in the postseason, I do think the defense is legit. And even against the Giants today, you saw like on that first touchdown drive, it was a 44-yard wide open Daniel Bellinger who snuck behind the defense, kind of a blown coverage that you don't really see happen with Denver. Later in the game, they had the 41-yard Theo Johnson touchdown that bounced off of Wan'Dale Robinson's hands. It felt like a fluky game for the defense, and I think week to week, this is going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. And offensively, I believe in Peyton. I think he's going to put Nix in the best position he can to succeed. I think he's not lived up to the expectation. I think he has he's the least accurate passer according to True Media, throwing 10+ yards downfield.
It feels that way. By the way, every freaking week, there are guys wide open downfield, and I'm with you on Sean Payton. You watch them, and you're like, he's got his fastball. He's scheming it up, and Bo Nix isn't making those plays. And I know Broncos fans are sensitive about Bo Nix. Every fan base is sensitive if they have a young QB who they feel like is their guy. So I'm not begrudging them about that. But I think your point is an interesting one, because I think if you're a Broncos fan, you're saying, we don't need to be an elite offense, Sheil. So you don't need to keep ripping us for being 26th in offensive success rate this season, because if we have a great defense, our offense only needs to meet a certain threshold. I made this comparison before. What do you think about it? Is there some version of last year's Eagles with these Broncos where you're going through the regular season going, offense isn't, great, and the week to week you're saying it doesn't look right. The defense is the thing you hang your hat on every week. But then is there a chance that they get to the postseason and they win, and all of a sudden Bo Nix kind of goes on a heater there? Is that a good comp or no?
I don't know. I still feel like the Eagles last year and this year have multiple skill players that can solve problems for them.
No
whereas
doubt.
I feel like Cortland Sutton, and there was a little Evan Ingram in this game too, and Dobbins has had success. But the skill group compared to Philadelphia last year is obviously night and day. I think if you're a Broncos fan, it's okay to say out loud that Nix is holding this team back. He's holding this team back. Throwing the ball downfield, obviously. He's 28th in success rate, 21st in the EPA per dropback, 10+ yards downfield. That stat I keep saying, 32% inaccurate throws. That's like uncatchable throws, throwing 10+ yards downfield. Nix is holding, he even says it after games. Like, I left plays out there. Oh, we had shots. We had chances. And in this game, too, you saw that. Like, he has to be better in order for this team to feel like a Super Bowl competitor. Now, I think why you're still excited about them is because the defense is good week to week, and I feel like it's a very well coached unit on both sides of the ball, and that's going to keep you in games, especially in games where the Giants, fluky offensively and defensively, the Giants have a very good pass rushing unit, very good defensive line, but we all know that secondary is very bad, and I think that you saw them take advantage of that in the fourth quarter.
We had a little moment at the urinal, not to give away the pre-pod secrets here, but you made a good point where you're like, Sean Payton's doing a great job this year. If Bo Nix were in a worse situation coming into the NFL this year, what would our conversations be like around him? I thought that's a great point, and that's a fair point. And that's not us saying Bo Nix stinks and he's terrible, he's never going to be good. Right now, he has not made the leap from year 1 to year 2.
No, when you look at last year and this year combined, so weeks 1 through 17 last year, or 1 through 18, and then now this year, bottom 5 quarterback in pretty much any metric that matters. And you've felt that. Even if you're a Broncos fan, you felt that. Obviously, the fourth quarter is crazy. I wanted to play this game with you.
Yeah.
A couple quarterbacks, Bo Nix or who you'd rather have for the rest of this season.
Okay.
For the rest
I
of the
always
season.
need the parameters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay,
contracts get into the mix.
And what team am I? Or is it just...
You're on Denver.
I'm Denver.
You're Denver.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to start with this game. Bo Nix or Jackson Dart?
I would still go Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix's superpower is he doesn't create a lot of negative plays, and I don't know that Jackson Dart's going to have that.
I also feel like some of that too is Peyton. Like I feel like some of that is like Peyton doing a really good job of coaching him up to avoid negative plays, but also create open throws. How many of his misses are open throws?
All of them.
Bo Nix or Michael Penix?
Penix in that offense, good offensive
I feel better about it.
Yeah,
more accurate downfield.
Now, they do a lot with moving Bo Nix now, but again, that's catering to his skill set. All right, I'll go Penix on that.
Okay, these probably rude, but I have Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix or Mac Jones.
Bo Nix and Spencer Rattlers, and those are not rude, honestly. Yeah. I don't think they're rude at all. I mean, we did the redraft last week with Dave Damashek, and I'm looking at all the numbers, and I'm like, is there a difference between Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler? And people are like, man, you're a Bo Nix hater. I'm like, I don't think that's being a hater. No. I think if you watch both their skill sets and if you isolate their surroundings and you swap them, I don't think you would see a major difference in performance. Mac Jones didn't play great on Sunday night, but you could make the case behind that offensive line operating the offense. I would say Mac Jones, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like I got there too. I mean, I think where I was out was probably Jackson Dart. We just haven't seen enough. And I still think he's got some bozo to him where, like, you're right, Nix doesn't have that. The other question I want to hit you with this Broncos team, is there a move at the deadline that could excite you about the offense? I was thinking Rashid Shaheed, Olave, Is Garrett Wilson available? Is Jalen Waddle available? Because I think that they obviously have Sutton, who I think is great down the field, and he's a big pass catcher. They're trying to make Troy Franklin a thing. They've tried to make Marvin Mims a thing. But I feel like they need another guy if they're going to, actually like be a legit playoff competitive team.
But Peyton's getting those guys open downfield.
Yeah,
now, I'm not saying they can win a one-on-one as much as those other guys you mentioned, but they are finding ways to get those guys open downfield. I mean, I would probably be in favor of a trade like that, but I don't think it would move the needle to the point where I'm like, okay, now I take back everything I said when we did the pod. So, there you go. All right. I think we're in a similar place. Again, don't be calling us Bo Nick. We're calling it. He's 29th out of 34 quarterbacks in dropback success rate, playing for Sean Payton, who we think is doing a great offensive line. Like, that's just not good enough. And
the offensive line is good.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, I think, is a top 6 quarterback in the league, or top 6 coach in the league. Yeah. And the defense, when like, I'm the nerdiest guy out here. Defense is volatile. It's hard week to week. I still think it's one of the top defenses in the league. Yeah. And you see that every single week with the pressure rates. They have good secondary. They're well coached. It's a very good football team. It's also fair to say that Nick's is limiting it. Yes.
Enjoy it, Broncos fans. Austin said it well. Good football team. We've talked about them. Can they be an actual contender this year? That's what we're talking about. Not between do they suck and are they good? It's good to contender. I don't think they can make that leap with the way he's playing right now.
Right now.
Maybe in December, we're having a different conversation. All right, next take here, Austin. The Philadelphia Eagles have not solved all their offensive problems. And you're going to hear people say that they have based on their 28-22 win over the Minnesota Vikings. Their solution today was Jalen Hurts, go make more plays. And I thought he had one of his best games as a pro, 19 for 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's improvising on a 4th and 4 for a touchdown. He's 3rd and 15, scrambling and creating a play to Devontae Smith. 3rd and 13, maybe the biggest play of the game, finds A.J. Brown, throws a dart, moving to his right. Those are great. And in a one-game sample, Jalen Hurts can do that. He did it in the Super Bowl last year. He did it in the Super Bowl in 2022. He did it in the NFC Championship game last year. I think if you're an Eagles fan, you wanted to see this team come out of their mini-bye, and the coaching staff that's taken a lot of heat with the new offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, say they figured some things out. They have some solutions. I didn't see those solutions today. I saw a lot of explosive plays, which is great. But again, those were because of the quarterback. So I'm looking at this going, how much of this is sustainable going forward? So I guess it's a little bit on pump the brakes if you think the Eagles have solved their offensive problems based on that one win.
I think I wouldn't even say I was like one of the best Hurts games I saw.
Okay.
I mean, I think that like you look at the first half, 3 sacks, 29% dropback success rate. Their first possessions were 3 and out, 4-yard drive, 3 and out, 3-yard drive, 3 and out, 3-yard drive, 3 and out, 1-yard drive. They were struggling in the first half. Second half starts, right? And they have the 79-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith, whereas Isaiah Rodgers gets completely spun around and Devontae Smith is wide open. And Jalen Hurts has all day to throw. He steps up into that pass like twice. Then later in the game, you mentioned the 3rd and 15, scramble drill, good pocket movement, sure, but still on a volatile long third down. They're in those long third down situations. He's the worst quarterback by success rate in obvious passing situations. That 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down, that's this season of 8 yards or more.
Wow.
Later in the game.
That's including this game?
Including this game.
Wow, okay.
3rd and 13, 4th quarter, scramble drill, good pocket movement, A.J. Brown on the sideline, sure, but again, another long third down where you're getting it in the scramble drill, A.J. Brown making plays. A couple plays after that, you had the A.J. Brown deep in and everyone loving him throwing, in between the hashes, let's go. There, I looked at the all 22. There wasn't a Minnesota Vikings defender within 8 yards of A.J. Brown on that play. And then the one to win it, like kind of sealed the game, the one over the top, Isaiah Rodgers, again, gets beat on a double move, even with help on the inside. I don't know. I felt like this was, Rodgers made some big mistakes. They got 2 big explosives off of it, one that won the game. And yes, you want to see Hurts make throws on the move. You want to see him scramble drill. You want to see the pocket movement where he's manipulating a little bit. But for me to feel like really good about the offense, I want to see down-to-down consistency and actual dominance. Yeah. You didn't feel in this game, even in the second half, that they were dominant. Saquon Barkley in this game, 2.4 yards per carry, 45 yards rushing on total, 23 rush attempts. Like, Cam Jurgens left this game with a knee injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out.
And that was a problem.
That was a problem.
And it has been a problem.
Nothing to me is solved. I think that they made big plays on huge downs. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, 4th and 4 was the A.J. Brown touchdown in a scramble drill again. I think you want to see that from A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, because those are your guys. But until we see, like, think about the Colts. Like, the Colts, when they've been humming this year, they feel dominant. They lead the league in success rate, EPA per play, yards per drive. Eagles are nowhere near those numbers in terms of efficiency, and it's because the run game has taken a step back, the offensive line has taken a step back, and inside the confines of the offense, it's not good yet. And I think that's a big, sign on the back of Kevin Patullo's, proverbial jersey, especially after Lane Johnson last week calling out the plays being predictable. I don't know. I don't think this Eagles offense is fixed. Obviously, you're happy to see them win outside of structure like this, but I'm not there yet with them being fixed.
It's, the different metrics we talk about here. So success rate is just down to down. Are you producing positive plays? This was a 13th percentile game league-wide.
Wow.
For the Eagles. So it wasn't good. And if you're watching it, Austin just told you, there were like 5 possessions in the middle of the game where they didn't do anything. However, they produced an explosive play over 30% of the time when they called the pass. That's only happened one other time in the NFL this season. So that's what you're talking about, that volatility. One-off sample, great.
Yeah.
Eagles won. Hurts was chucking it downfield. Awesome. On hey, let's zoom out, look big picture. Can this team get back to being a very efficient, down-to-down, good, like you mentioned, the Colts, the last time the Eagles looked like that, Shane Steichen was their offensive coordinator in 2022. So I'm with you. The run game continues to be an issue. I mean, Saquon Barkley in this game, 2.4 yards per carry, you mentioned. He's 31st out of 37 running backs in success rate. Still, Austin does not have a carry of over 20 yards.
Wow.
And we're through 7 weeks. Last year, he averaged one of those a game.
Dang.
And so that's killing them. So yeah, they are a weird team. They'll continue to be a weird team. You're happy that Hurts came out and played at least his best game of the season, just hitting those plays downfield. You're happy that A.J. Brown got targeted. You're happy that Devontae Smith got targeted. But man, they had the mini bye last week, and I was really I like looking at the first possession. Like, all right, what did they think their issues were? And they just go under center, run. And it's like, you can't bully people anymore. The O-line is not good enough. The tight ends are getting ragdolled. And I think you continue to see that here. The 79-yard touchdown you mentioned to Devontae Smith. Can I give you, is my favorite nugget from week 7.
Hit me.
That's the first pass the Eagles have completed on under center play action this year.
Wow.
0
I think I saw
yards.
some people on Twitter blowing up over that.
I mean, how is that possible in the year 2025? This is like what the great offense they're spamming. I mean, I don't think the Vikings ran a play that it felt like every play was under center play action. Why? Because you're moving the defenders, you're creating uncertainty, and the Eagles haven't been able to do that. So they finally did it. And Austin, I was ready to give Kevin Patullo some credit. All right. And then I'm reading, my friend Tim McManus on ESPN.com, and he's got the anecdote. Devontae Smith went up to the coaching staff at halftime and was like, we can get him on play action. Because they were just doing all the under center runs. So I can't even give them credit for that. So, where are you with this Eagles team overall after 7 weeks?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to buy them as, I still like the Chiefs probably over them in terms of like Super Bowl contender and like the favorite to win it all. The offense down to down is not efficient, and defensively the secondary. And you had injuries today with who got hurt today? Was it Adoree Jackson that got hurt?
Yes,
the secondary. I think outside of Cooper DeJean, they have some talent, but they have clear weaknesses that teams are able to take advantage of. Better teams that don't have Carson Wentz quarterbacking them, I think, will take advantage of them. I wanted to ask you,
Carson Wentz was in full bozo mode.
He was. To start the game too, you could tell it was just like the lights were pretty bright this morning. It was tough. I wanted to ask you about, because I think some people were talking about the how the Vikings laid down a defensive tackle in front of the tush push, and then like they were like, oh, somebody tweeted like, oh, they solved it, but like they got it on the first, like they got a first down on it, and then the next time they tried it, the Eagles false started, and then you didn't get a second attempt. Is that actually is that going to do anything? If you lay a guy down on the ground with his back to the ball, I get that it makes the 3 interior offensive linemen have to kind of go over the top of him, and then
low man wins.
It. But I feel like we kind of it didn't even stop the tush push. They had a false start, and then the one time they ran it, it went for it. I feel like defenses obviously have to try new stuff to try and stop the tush push because it's such a dominant play. But I wasn't like as impressed by that because
I just like that someone tried something
exactly.
And Flores he just does stuff differently.
And apparently it was that guy's first game.
I know. You get called out. You're a specialist. Lay down.
Hey, we need you to lay down, and your back is going to face the ball. You can close your eyes if you want to.
You will not be able to get out of bed in the morning, but you're playing in an NFL game here. All right, let's take a break. We come back. One more take from week 7. The Ringer NFL show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is changing the way you live bet football, and it starts with Next Drive SGPs. Now you can bet what's happening on the next drive. Will it end in a touchdown, a punt, a field goal? Then stack player props and build your bet exactly how you want it. And every NFL game day comes with a profit boost you can use on your next drive SGP. Visit FanDuel.com/RingerNFL to download the app today and bet the next drive your way. Must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back on the Ringer NFL show. Austin, my final take here. There was a lot of bad football today. It feels like there's more bad. I always say this, it might be wrong. It feels like there's a lot of bad teams earlier in the season than usual. The Raiders are the worst team in the NFL. They're your favorite team.
Yeah.
I know they're your favorite team, so I want to let you sound off in a second here. But for those who didn't pay attention to the Las Vegas Raiders, they ran 30 offensive plays in this game. According to ESPN, it's the second time since 1950 a team has ran 30 plays or fewer in a game. They had 3 first downs. So I have my process, every Sunday after the late afternoon games, I go, all right, what are the games I missed? And I'm 3 first downs. Do I have first half on here?
Yeah.
No, they had 3 first downs in the whole freaking game here. I'm a Pete Carroll fan, and so this is paining me. It's embarrassing, but they stink. They're 2-5. I don't know how Chip Kelly. It feels like Chip Kelly has kind of escaped criticism a little bit because there was this enthusiasm about, hey, his second act in the NFL. He went to college. They're terrible. They're one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Geno Smith looks awful. They draft Ashton Jeanty 6th overall. He has nowhere to run. I know they beat the Titans a couple weeks ago. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't see a team that played a worse game today than the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think that's fair. I think if you want to say the worst team that played today, it was definitely the Raiders. 30 offensive plays. Defense had nothing to do out there. Why I push back on them being the worst team in the league. I mean, part of it is that they beat the Titans last week. And you could argue that the Titans are worse. Also, I want to talk about who I think is the worst team in the league a little bit later, but we'll get to that. For the Raiders, they were without, in this game, Brock Bowers, who's been hurt a lot of the season. Colt Miller, the left tackle, most important offensive lineman, also out. And they were without Jacoby Myers as well. The 3 best players on offense are out. And then defensively, their starter defensive tackle, Adam Butler, got hurt in pregame warmup, so he goes out. Yeah. They've been plagued by injuries. Geno Smith has clearly fallen off. I also feel like he's lost trust with Chip Kelly and how they've changed. Geno has. Okay. And how they've changed the offense to shrink it down. Don't push the ball downfield. We're scared to take shots. We think he's going to throw too many turnovers. Is really hurt the offense. Yeah. But I remember tweeting in the first parts of last year about how bad the Raiders rushing offense was last year. And it's oh my gosh, this is the worst rushing attack in the NFL this seen since at least 2000. That same offensive line is starting this year. They didn't make any changes along the offensive line outside of they swapped guards. Dylan Parham was right guard. Now he's playing left. Yeah. Jordan Meredith was guard. Now he's playing center. Jackson Powers-Johnson was center. Now he's playing guard. So they did a little musical chairs for no reason. You could ask Pete Carroll's son, Brennan Carroll, why they made those changes along the offensive line. Left tackle, obviously, Colton Miller's out, so you have Stone Forsythe in. They cut Thayer Munford, who was with the team last year, a little bit more consistent, you could say, and they bring in Stone Forsythe, who's not that good. Defensively, their starting corners are Darnay Holmes, Caillou Blue-Kelly, and Eric Stokes Jr. It's one of the worst secondaries in the league. And their pass rush up front, they have Max Crosby, who's been fine this year, but Malcolm Kuntz, the other pass rusher who was hurt all last year that they wanted more to come, he's not been the guy for them. The linebacking core is old. It's Jamal Adams, Devin White, and Landon Roberts. It's a very bad team. I don't think they're ultimately the worst team in the league. I think if they get healthier, if Colt Miller comes back, when Brock Bowers comes back, if Jacoby isn't traded and he comes back, it's a little bit of a better team. You think about, they beat the Patriots in week 1, which you can almost throw out week 1. I mean, the Justin Fields Jets almost threw out week 1 in week 1, but and then they're a blocked field goal away from beating the Bears. Yeah. They should have won that game if they didn't. Right. And then the Titans, they manhandled the Titans. It was an easy win to the Titans. I think.
So who's the worst team?
Worst team's the Jets, and I know it's easy because they haven't won a game, but Justin Fields, and they benched him in this game, and is Tyrod Taylor that much better than Justin Fields? I don't even know. I think they have one of the worst quarterback rooms in the league, if not the worst quarterback room. Defensively, they've been below average, which is where Aaron Glenn was supposed to show up. Offensively, I just don't think they have any ability to solve problems right now on the offense side of the ball. I think that for them, if they're going to get back on track, so much has to change with quarterback play, so much has to change defensively. And I also think you can kind of just feel that the team is sinking into this, right? This stat I thought was insane. So after week 1, which you can kind of throw out week 1, they had that crazy game against the Steelers. You could see that the Steelers defense now is one of the worst in the league. Since then, Can you guess how many touchdowns the Jets have in the first 3 quarters of games? So they played 6 games since they played the Steelers. How many touchdowns do they have in the first 3 quarters?
2.
1.
Oh my God.
No team other has less than 4. Like they are non-competitive in these games. They are getting blown out, and like it's tough for the Aaron Glenn era. And you can even like reading just like Jets blogs and Jets fans, like they feel like this is one of the worst teams that they've had over the last few years.
It has not been good. The Aaron Glenn punt with 1:55 left, 4th and 10. They're down 13. I mean, punting, I understand they had timeouts, but that's almost unheard of when you're down by a touchdown with 1:55 left to punt the ball. And of course, they never got the ball back there. He has, you have to start wondering about how long is he going to, does he get a second season with the Jets? We're at that point. Before I've tiptoed around it because it seems unfair, 0-7 is 0-7. You're going to have that conversation with any coach who goes 0-7. So, all right, the Jets have a case. I just looked it up, Austin. According to the betting markets, the Titans would still be the underdogs against any team.
And how much of that, though, how much of that is just Cam Ward? Right? Cam Ward, who I think has had flashes of success this year. Yeah. I wanted to throw some stats at you.
Okay.
Cam Ward versus Will Levis.
Oh no!
Both in the first in the first 7 games here. 10 turnovers, same.
Okay.
Cam Ward 58% completion rate through week 7. Will Levis in the first 5 games before he got benched 66% completion rate. They have the same sack rate. When you look at rookie quarterbacks in weeks 1 through 7 with at least 140 dropbacks this millennium.
Okay.
Here are the bottom 6.
Out of how many you said?
52. 52 rookie quarterbacks have had 140 dropbacks in weeks 1 through 7 since 2000.
So kind of like first 7 starts of their career. Okay.
David Carr, Cam Ward, Zach Wilson, Blaine Gabbert, Justin Fields, Josh Rosen. That's in success rate. And in the EPA per dropback, Cam Ward's even lower. Ooh. He has had a horrific start.
Wow.
To the season. And obviously, it's not as bad Will Levis, because I think Will Levis, you couldn't even see the highlights on Will Levis' tape. I think with Cam Ward, you start to see it. And
you do.
The big thing for me is how many sacks he's taken. Will Levis had 15 sacks in his first 5 games with the Titans before he was benched. Cam Ward has 30 sacks in 7 games. Wow. And a lot of these fumbles where he's just dropping the ball.
Yeah. He does drop the ball a lot.
I think the Titans expected Cam Ward to be an upgrade over Will Levis. I think we all did.
Yeah.
Statistically has not been the case. They have almost equal success rate, almost equal EPA per play. It's been bad. It's been really bad for Cam Ward. And I think the rest of the Titans offense isn't great either. And I think the offensive line is solid. You can see the skill group getting better. And defensively, they have Jeffrey Simmons and kind of nobody else. But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of it with the Titans, and Brian Callahan was a piece of this too. It's very hard, as Bill has hit on his pod all the time, to go 4-19 against the spread over it was. But the Titans are really bad. And I think the Dolphins have a case. The Dolphins have a small case with how bad they've been so far this year.
Certainly the most depressing loss. And who knows, by the time you listen to this, we might be talking about who's going to be the new Dolphins head coach, because it got ugly there in Cleveland. All right, what a way to end it. I mean, Austin just surprising me with just the Titans drive-by on Cam Ward. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But worth saying. Those. Thank you very much to Austin Gayle. I will be right back with the Hurry Up. The Hurry Up is our closing segment where I give you a take on news in the NFL. And we can't talk about week 7 without giving the Indianapolis Colts their flowers again, because all they did on Sunday was go up and down the field with ease in a 38-24 win against the Chargers. Listen, they have the best offense in the NFL by any meaningful metric. They now have a plus 92-point differential on the season. League best by 30 points better than any other team. This is incredible. If the season ended today, the Colts would be the 1 seed in the AFC. And I still don't think we're giving it enough credit as one of the bigger surprises in recent NFL memory. A lot of times when these teams come out of nowhere, it's fluky, it's turnovers, they win some close games. That is not what's happening here. Colts are legitimately winning these games. Their offense looks unstoppable. The defense can be had. We saw that. We saw the Chargers pile up yards in that game on Sunday, but it's a formula that works in the NFL. High-level offense, a defense that may be game plan specific in the playoffs, create some turnovers, that kind of thing. So we have time to discuss who are the Colts as contenders in the AFC. Would I take them over the Chiefs? Would I take them over the Bills? Probably not. But I just continue to be so impressed with this team, with this group. So Shane Steichen, without a doubt, coach of the year the first 7 weeks of the season. All right. Thanks to Christopher Sutton for producing, John Jones helping with video, Kiera Givens on social, and additional production supervision by Conor Nevins and Arjuna Ramgopowell. I'm Sheil Kapadia. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Ringer NFL Show. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.